We go. We've locked up. It's Saturday night. It's not Ant and Deck's takeaway. It's Ant and Jay's live stream. Whee! And it's not a quiz either. Dear. Let's let everyone assemble. We should have done a quiz, shouldn't we? We haven't done one in for ages. God.
We should do a quiz. I think
we should do a quiz. Good idea, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's sometimes you got to get those questions. You got to get them really complicated to root out the.
How many press ups did Prince do by the swimming pool in his mankini?
Yeah. I mean, some of those questions you did were very.
That was, I can't remember what round that was, but that's one where I went really OTT.
I'm just glad I wasn't answering them because I would have had a clue.
Yeah. Oh dear. It was almost like what's the serial number on the engine block, or on his motorbike,
I just imagine going on something like Mastermind and being asked those questions.
Yeah. Could you imagine going on Mastermind and getting them wrong though? Yeah, that'd be worse. Your special subject.
I think the trouble is if you panicked on Mastermind and you kind of got the question wrong, you go over it so many times afterwards and you go, I did know that. I did know that.
and here we have the Night Child, and his special subject is the video to Gangster Glam.
Oh, dear.
Come on, only one person so far.
Well, that's more than usual. That's
true.
Good.
We're getting more popular.
That's probably me.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. One person. God dear. I don't know. Come on, everyone. Let it build up. People don't know we're doing this. I don't know.
We might get to 3 people. I mean, we don't want to get, we don't want to get excited.
We don't. It is public. Yeah, I've said it public. Yeah. One person. Come on, people. So it's going to be our little. Oh, look, hey, Vault Curator, Tony Delta Blues. Hey, how you doing, guys? Welcome. Our first live stream of this year? Or did we do a quiz this year? I can't remember.
It's April. I mean, that's.
I know we're into that month, unfortunately.
Yeah.
4 people in the house. Yeah, I hate April. There we go. We're in. Evening, Graham Turner. Evening. So this is going to be our 2022 sort of review so far of what's been happening, because there's been quite a lot. As soon as you get one bit of information that's happening, there suddenly seems to be something else at the moment. It's just, oh my God, it's been madness, hasn't it? And then with a kind of eye to looking what's going to be coming later on and in the future and what have you. Sometimes it snows. Yes, it does. It snowed yesterday here, actually. So.
It did snow yesterday here, which was.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Yes,
it did indeed. So we'll get started in a minute. We're just letting everyone ramble in. Year of the reissue. Absolutely. Yeah.
Very on brand with your Love Sexy mug.
Oh, yeah, and my new t-shirt. Look at the t-shirt, guys.
Dear.
Oh, dear. 7 people in the house. Oh, Get Wild 24. Hello.
I think if you had that mug at the office, that would get some comments.
Well, this one. I've got a Mr. Ants mug as well. There you go.
What, like that?
Yeah, white. Yeah, it's like
in that pose with you sort of.
Yeah. It took ages to get the wife to take the picture. She did not want to do it. That's another story.
Yes, that's for your OnlyFans account now.
Yeah. It's not even for that. Oh dear. I don't know. Welcome everyone. We've got a few people in, which is good. More than normal, which is good. We normally get to about 8, and that's about it. And people get fed up with us. So. Did you get your Purple Rain duvets?
I saw someone with that. Who got one? I think it was Chris Johnson. I want to see it because obviously I want to see it ironed, because on the advert it wasn't ironed. But I think that would be quite a weird way to get out of bed in the morning. You sort of wake up and you'd have to have When Doves Cry playing in the background. You just stroll out of your duvet,
crawl across the floor
to the bath, to the
bathroom. Which is pretty much what I do every morning anyway, because I don't want to get up.
Can you imagine? I mean, that would be,
yeah.
Can you imagine meeting someone and they had the Purple Rain duvet? You'd be like, oh.
I know. Well, that's where we might as well start, as we're talking about Purple Rain. We've got 10 people in. Obviously, the latest bit of news, obviously, is the reissue again of Syracuse. What is this now? The 3rd release? You know what's interesting? As I was thinking about this earlier, and I was thinking, oh God, it's that again already so quick. And you think it's actually 5 years since that Purple Rain Deluxe already. I think, since it was last released. You think, my God, where's that gone? It came out the year Prince passed away, didn't it? Later on that year, Purple Rain Deluxe, I think June, July, something like that. And you think, wow.
It's time at the moment.
Where's that gone? 5 years. You think, wow. You know,
it's quite weird because that was obviously for a lot of people that was one of the first shows, you know, that they ever saw that really got them into Prince. And I always found it quite strange because obviously I got into Prince sort of, you know, same time as you, and so for me the kind of first video I saw was Sign of Times and Love Sexy. But when I saw Purple Rain, and I couldn't get over how different it was, like how much Prince changed year to year. You see him in Purple Rain, and then you see him, you know, not that long later in the Parade tour, which is completely different to the Sign of the Times tour, which is completely different to the Love Sexy tour, which is different to the and it's so strange because obviously at that time Prince was like he was like a kind of, it was almost like I don't know, Michael Jackson, Beatle mania, whatever. It was insane because you saw the people screaming, the crowds, the stadiums, the
50,000, you know, in a stadium.
Crazy, wasn't it? And you know, to do that, they're all hyped up on Purple Rain the film. And it's one of those concerts you know every bit of, don't you? And you know the God interlude in the middle, the jams at the end. Obviously, you know, when you put I Would Die For You, Baby One Star, and Purple Rain going on for 2 days, and you know, it changes guitar. It's so many iconic moments. It's
absolutely
it is different though to almost because every show before that he was kind of coming up, and this moment he was so huge. I can't even wrap my head around. And I think it was, so one other thing I was going to say is I think it's quite interesting in that I think it changed Prince a lot because he talked about there's a point where he was doing show after show after show.
It changed his idea of touring, didn't it? I think.
Yeah, and I think doing that rigid set list, he said he was one night he was putting on the guitar and they caught him and there was a bit of blood, and he was just at that point where I'm doing the same set list, and I think from then on he really liked to mix it up a great deal and do that. But I mean, how do you feel about it? Are you sort of excited that it's Blu-ray or not?
I'm definitely excited that it's now released on Blu-ray. It's interesting the timing where they're coming out with these releases. There's no real, you know, it's so random, isn't it, that the way they're jumping around with timelines. You know, you get the Do Me Baby cassette, you get this, you go back forwards, suddenly it's Syracuse again, and you think, well, you know, why now? Why, you know, and not just that, they follow it up with a whole range of merch, some really pretty good stuff actually, especially the t-shirts like on the official website, which you think, my God, why wasn't any of that released when the Purple Rain special edition was released? You know, it should have backed that up then. It's so odd. It's like they realised, oh well, you know, we'll make up for it now and do it.
You've probably frustrated people because there's some people sort of still waiting for their Do Me Baby, I imagine.
There's probably some people still waiting for the special edition Purple Rain.
I don't understand because I think the people have got the tapes, haven't they? But they're still waiting for the
that's another issue.
Vinyl. Do Me Baby. I mean, it's weird the whole concept of even Do Me Baby. How you have to give them money up front. You wait 3 or 4 months, and then you get the product. But I think you're right. I think part of that is the complicated nature of the estate. Part of it is Prince actually in a sense that he did deals with different people, and then the estate obviously all kind of this Sony Warner Brothers kind of lots of conflicting people, and then there's sort of Primary Wave and how it's going to end up. And I think the thing is we need it to be settled, like, because even now they're still, I think they're going to, you know, Primary Wave will take over, and it'll be, I think you need to have it settled so you can kind of do that, because at the moment you're right, there's no kind of long-term plan. You don't know where they're going.
It seems very random, doesn't it? You get rumors and things like that, but you know, suddenly this comes out and you're, oh, okay, you know, again, something, especially, I mean, obviously it's nice to have an official audio release of, obviously, you know, vinyl CD, but something that's been widely bootlegged for a long time. Some of us actually copied the VHS and had the audio for years playing it that way. But you know, as you say, it's one of those things.
I mean, who do you think they're appealing to in this? Do you think they're appealing to? Because on one hand, there's the, you know, the Purple Rain, the casual fan who's really into Purple Rain. This is something. Because I've seen lots of these articles where they say for the first time this is released, and think, well, not really. It's the first time in this specific media, but and obviously there's the it's from the, you know, the 2-inch tapes and things like that. So I understand it, but for the average casual fan, they're sort of promoting it as if this is the first time you can see Prince's Purple Rain concert. But I don't know who buys this, because I think the casual fan, did they just buy the Purple Rain Deluxe and think, okay, cool, you know, are they going to come back, or was this for the hardcore having a slightly better version?
It's interesting because a lot of obviously modern music fans and younger people won't buy a physical copy of anything. Everything's streamed, isn't it? So, you know, when they're releasing these things on vinyl and Blu-ray, you think, well, who's buying these things now? Who is buying physical media? You know, obviously the hardcore want everything, and they want, you know, they want the vinyls and to have things on vinyl and everything. You know, I've got the DVD. I've pre-ordered the Blu-ray and the CDs. I'm not too worried about having it on vinyl because I've got vinyl. I hardly play them. I don't get the time. I don't play them that often. So I thought, no, I'll just go for the CD because I'll rip it onto my computer and I'll listen to it when I commute, and I'll watch the Blu-ray. That's, you know, that'll work for me. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, Purple Music is in the house. Piano covers. My Purple brothers, how are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Oh, we love his piano covers.
Absolutely.
He is a star. Definitely subscribe to his channel.
Definitely. Go and subscribe right now.
I think that the thing about Purple Rain is also they put the Let's Go Crazy, haven't they, on YouTube?
Yes.
Now, are they going to do what they did last time? And you buy the Blu-ray, the DVD, and then they whack it out on, obviously probably not as high quality, but they whack it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, a week afterwards.
Yes.
And like I say, if a lot of younger people only stream, are they just going to say, well, I'll wait until it's on YouTube, then I'll watch it, and then I don't know. But then there's also only so many times you can return to the well. But I'm sure that Vault Curator would say as well that you know, obviously there's strong possibility we're going to end up with another Purple Rain Super Deluxe, which will have presumably a different show. I don't know, and will it contain the Apollonia, the time? Yes, I don't know. I mean,
that would be an amazing set then.
But then, you know, how many times do we go back to Purple Rain? Because the danger is, and everybody feels this, is Prince going to be the Purple Rain guy?
Exactly. That's all you associate with him. For the people who are uninitiated, you know, and what have you, it's just, oh, he's Purple Rain, that's it, because that's all they ever seem to release.
And that's the problem, because the casual fan will say, oh, well, he must just be Purple Rain because that's all that's being put out. I mean, I've got to be honest, there's three, slightly skipping the thing, but that's what I'm interested in with the Netflix thing, because for me there's three reasons the Netflix documentary is going to be it's kind of, I'm hopeful for, in that one, it's going to look at his whole career, not just the 80s, because most documentaries obviously about Prince, they will talk in depth about the 80s, then they'll get to about 88, 89, then they'll go, oh, we need some other stuff, you know.
I know,
just skip over the last day. They don't mention anything after 2010 hardly, and they might mention the gold experience as part of the slave battle, but then they'll skip over the rest of his career. And I'm hoping the Netflix documentary will do his whole career, including his later career. But secondly, Netflix will, as you say, a lot of people only stream, it'll reach new fans, new people will get on board with Prince and get engaged with him, which is really important. But the most important thing for me is weird in a sense, is that once Netflix is done, it unleashes this cork, because it's holding up so many things, because so many things, they've got this kind of deal where lots of things can't be released until Netflix have had their way with it. And until they've got the exclusive, and you think there's so many things that go, oh, well, we can't release that because Netflix have got a deal, or we can't release that because Netflix have got a deal, and you think, well, okay, fine, do a good job, but you can't hold up everything forever.
No, exactly. But some of that is a little bit, it's like, oh, like the piano and a microphone. You think, for God's sake, you know, it should have been the first thing that was released after he passed away, and you know, and the fans deserve it. And then you get, you know, the other piano and a microphone, which people obviously got mixed things about. And then, you find out, oh, well, actually, we can't release it because of this Netflix deal. And you feel like, oh, that's a kick in the stomach. It's like, come on, you know.
I actually think I'm usually quite positive. I think if I had to say what is the biggest mistake, well, apart from the amount of money spent on lawyers, the biggest mistake in a sense the estate has made is probably that piano and microphone, because I think that in the public mind, that's the piano and microphone show. And even though the piano and microphone 2016 is a completely different thing, it's a performance in front of, you know, audiences. It was meant for public consumption, as opposed to the piano and microphone 1983, which is, you know, noodling at the piano. It was a rehearsal. It wasn't meant to be heard. But in the public's mind, they're going to say, well, I've already heard that. Do I need to hear the piano and microphone? And they've kind of taken that moment, like you say, and that was a mistake. It was a bit of
balls.
They got a bit excited. Perhaps they went, oh, look, you know.
We got this. Link it onto that.
And I think that they sort of threw in a bit of Purple Rain nostalgia, 17 Days kind of, and I think that was an error. But whether we may have to give it a little bit more time. But then I don't know, if you provided a DVD with the 2016 shows, then or a Blu-ray, that would just be so emotional. Exactly. I think that really would.
It would.
As a comment there, $1 Billion Man. Great video up at the moment from Sunset Studio. Prince doing Around the World in the Day sessions. That's quite interesting.
I've looked at some of their videos on there. They're really good. Yeah.
It's a lot of great work being done. A lot of great work.
Loving the Sunset Studio stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. There's so much. At the moment, there seems to be quite a lot of younger people. That sounds like 104. Doing like reaction videos and stuff like that. There's a lot of that. There's people doing Purple Rain when that these sort of I say youngsters like I don't know early 20s doing or late teens doing like this is the first time I've heard When Doves Cry, or this is the first time I've heard Purple Rain, or this is Diamonds and Pearls, and it's quite interesting. And some people are even going into albums like The Truth and various things. It's quite interesting that next generation are picking up, because I was really worried, genuinely worried. I mean, we see the stats that the average Prince follower is like 40s, 50s, and we were thinking, where's the next generation? Where's it coming through? And it's quite interesting that these reaction videos, maybe that's their way into the music. I mean, if they say, oh, I heard that was pretty good, I'll go on Spotify and I'll find something else about Prince, then maybe that's their way in. And I don't care how people get into Prince. If that's the way that it does it, then I just hope that the record companies kind of back off a bit with the copyright and say, look, we might want the money, but we want to leave it up because we want as a way in. So say,
it's a gateway.
We'll give you the money. We'll give the record companies the money for the monetization of YouTube or whatever, but we'll keep it up because we want people to get into Prince. And then if you just say, look, we'll share the profits or something of the YouTube videos, and we'll have a link underneath saying this is where you can go and find more Prince stuff, then maybe you're right. Maybe that's the way in. Yeah.
So get ready for Mr. Anson and Night Child's reaction videos.
You imagine us going like, and this is my reaction to the 100th time I've listened to Purple Rain. I'll go.
That's all right. That's not bad. That's so bad. Next, that was Prince, Purple Rain, bit of guitar. Yeah. Okay. Next. Oh, a few comments. What do we got? 100% and what a missed opportunity not releasing the piano and the mic live stuff. That and the very last pieces of music he recorded, including Pangina. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was going to say that reactions videos on YouTube have been fantastic. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Some of them. I saw one. I was like a few from the Prince podcast, Michael Dean, and they're brilliant. He did New Power Soul,
whole album,
and he did the whole album. And he was just the whole time he was just kind of really getting into it. He was dancing, he was laughing, he was kind of like he just knows that album inside out, and it was really fascinating just to see someone enjoy that, because without
getting copyrighted.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, and I don't mean this as a criticism of anybody, but sometimes it's really important to go into the kind of detail of Prince, the backstory of Prince, the kind of real genius of Prince. But sometimes you have to remember what the most important thing is. And the most important thing is to enjoy the music. That's why we're all here. Yes. However much we want to go into intellectually, he meant this or that's important. But just to enjoy the music, because that's why we're all here. We wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it. We wouldn't say, oh, we're going to spend loads of time talking about this guy we didn't enjoy. And sometimes just to sit there and see someone kind of just enjoy the music or listen to the music, that's what we all, me and you obviously got into Prince long before the internet. So that's all it was, us, our headphones and Prince.
Exactly. That's it. Absolutely. Yeah. He reacts to the whole discography. Mr. Ant and Nightchild react to the react videos. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Quick, write that down.
We can do that. Our top 10 reaction videos. Who to go to?
Yeah, our top 10 reaction to reaction videos.
That would be quite good, actually.
Oh dear, right. Well, we're stealing some ideas here. No, that's good.
No, I'm copyrighting that.
Yeah. Oh dear, I don't know. So we've obviously got that. There's also lots of talk at the moment as well about releases doubling up rather than doing them individually, which would take a long time. But let's talk about.
What do you think about that? How do you feel about that?
I think on some it's a good idea. Maybe like the early stuff you could package for you and Prince together, and some of the early demos and stuff maybe. But I don't know, some of the later things, there's a lot of stuff and you think they deserve, like Some of the Times, 1999, their own individual you know, released. But there are some that would work well. We said before, Love Sexy Black Album, that whole thing.
Definitely. I think Chocolate Invasion in Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Work.
And obviously the one that I keep talking about is Diamonds and Pearls at the moment with the Love Symbol album, don't they?
Oh, see, that
thing
annoys
with that,
me. Oh,
it does, because Diamonds and Pearls needs its whole. We've never had the whole Diamonds and Pearls tour. We know what we feel about that on live, but also we've never had the Hit and Run. The Act 1, Act 2 tour released either, which was another brilliant tour. Now, I don't want a double set and only one show for one. You know, I want both shows. I want to see everything. I want to hear everything. You know, so I don't know.
It frustrates me. It annoys me slightly, I have to say, because what annoys me with this is that Diamonds and Pearls is one of the easiest Prince projects to sell to the casual fan, because Diamonds and Pearls was a huge multi-million selling album. It was hugely in the public mainstream. People know the videos of Get Off. They know the videos of Cream. They know, Diamonds and Pearls. I mean, Money Don't Matter Tonight. They know about Prince of that era. This is an easy sell to the casual fan. You don't need to ram it together with the Symbol album as well. The kind of the unnamed, because there's no need. And like you say, it does a disservice, because we've seen snippets of the quality of the Diamonds and Pearls tour. And you think, that on its own is enough. There's the Diamonds and Pearls beginning, the different versions. There's maxi singles of Get Off, Cream, so many. And I just think, not with Diamonds and Pearls, there's no need to, because the public are really, after Purple Rain and Silent Times, if you look at the 90s albums, Diamonds and Pearls is arguably the most well-known Prince album for the average listener.
One of the most commercial. I mean, you've got straight away, you've got the album, then you've got the other version, the beginnings. Then you've got all the max singles. Then you've got the Diamonds and Pearls tour. We know then you've got the videos collection. That was released. That can be released on a DVD or a Blu-ray as well. So there's massive.
I mean,
stuff.
You look at Cream being a number one in the US. You've got it's a hugely. Prince put so much money into the videos at that time of Get Off and Money. I mean, the video collection, everything. And I think it's really, there's no need to put these things together. Because they can stand on their own. And like you say, Act 1 and Act 2.
Yeah, because you could look at the Love Symbol album. You've got the Act 1, Act 2 tour, which has never been released, plus the album itself. Plus you've got 3 Chains of Gold, which was released, and the Sacrifice of Victor. They're all released to do, with that. So all of that can be released as well. All that video content as well as the album. So those two, I would prefer them separate. Edgar Cruz.
Edgar Cruz in the house. If you're on Twitter, as many people are, you need to follow Edgar Cruz. Obviously, a key man in the Prince Twitter threads.
Absolutely.
The level of detail and research, the Prince Twitter threads on Twitter are amazing. If you get a chance to follow it, I mean, they're like mini novellas. They're just amazing. And I know the amount of research these guys go into is just
we had the honor of being involved in some of them, and it was hard work, but very, very good.
Very good. And the amount of times I will follow a Prince Twitter thread on Twitter, and you're like, I never would have thought of that. I never would have connected that and that. I never would have found that. So
absolutely. Cream alone is a mini movie. Yeah, absolutely.
it is. You love the Cream.
I like Sinatra.
you love that. Is such a good. I love the whole kind of the train station, the whole kind of thing. It's with Prince and Diamonds and Pearls, and they're like, "Are you going out with Prince? Yes, no, yes,
no."
It's fantastic. And Prince, that's such an easy thing to do. So I wouldn't put those two together. Like you say, some things make sense. Maybe Love Sexy Black Album, Slaughterhouse, Chocolate Invasion, things like that. Even I don't know, even Hit and Run, Phase 1, Phase 2. I can see an argument
them being put together.
But I just don't think there's any need to put Diamonds and Pearls, because you could sell that to the general public in a way that would be very easy. To be fair, even the Symbol album, the quality of the videos for that.
Yeah, they're brilliant. I mean, as you say, you've got the whole 3 Chains of Gold thing, so...
I mean, he made videos of pretty much everything. So, there's still lots of things, and I think also that it does a disservice, because if we start doubling up albums now, where does it end? Are we going to put 2, 3, 4? Are we just going to say, oh, here's the 2000s? We just... I don't think we need to.
Where does it stop? Yeah.
Plus, there's another argument. There's one other quick thing I was going to say. If you put them together, how much is that going to cost to have
well,
two
there is that as well.
super deluxes together. It's probably going to cost about £300. I don't know.
Don't. Yeah, that'd be. Yeah. I'm guessing that only a handful of albums will get the super deluxe treatment. By the time the 7 or 8 biggest albums have been covered, the estate will change the distribution method.
I mean, there is an argument for that. I think there's a very strong argument for that, because are we realistically ever going to see a super deluxe for 2010? Are we really going to see? Well, we might do, because Prince actually had that on mind, so that's a bad example.
He did.
But I'm saying, there's certain albums, Plectrum Electrum maybe. There's certain albums where you think, I think what correct is right. Are we ever going to get a super deluxe of those?
Yeah.
From the public's perspective, what was, if you're the general member of the public who sort of knows of Prince but doesn't know inside out, you're going to think Purple Rain, maybe 1999, maybe Diamonds and Pearls, maybe Sign of the Times. I don't know. After that, like I say, are you going to know about? I mean, as big as musicology was, are you going to know about that? I don't know. I'd really be interested to see.
No, I mean, there's a lot of those ones later on that people don't. Lotus Flower, musicology, 3121, all that kind of stuff. Just sort of, apart from the fans, although they were commercially successful in America, musicology was, and 3121 was. They fell by the wayside. For the general public. So you know what I mean. So,
but then is part of the legacy, is part of the estate's job, if you like, to promote the areas of Prince that weren't so widely known. Is it the estate's kind of duty to make Prince much more beyond the kind of Purple Rain image people have of him? Is it their duty to kind of explore his whole career? I mean, I know it's always going to be about money, just to be honest. It's always but there's two ways of selling, isn't there? There's the casual fan, you can sell, or there's the hardcore fan who are happy to pay. The casual fan isn't going to pay 150 quid for a super deluxe, but the hardcore fan will. So it depends. Do you go after the hardcore fan and say we can get 150 quid from a lot of people, or do we go for the casual fan and say we can get 20 quid from lots of other people?
It's interesting, isn't it? What have we got here? Symbol needs to be its own special deluxe. So much content. And I want to see, does the Wembley Stadium gig exist on film? Was there ever any content filmed? I was there. It did happen.
That's what you say.
The only time you play Wembley Stadium, it's like, come on. There's one photo online, and that's it.
Edgar Cruz, how many people would be interested in a 12-disc rave era box set? Well, it's a good point. I mean, only 12 discs, Edgar. We need 20. No, you're right. I mean, that's the point. I mean, it's weird. The rave is really strange to me, because he tried to do this Carlos Santana kind of project where you bring in everybody, like Gwen Stefani, and we had obviously we had Eve, we had lots of lots of artists pulled together for this collaboration. But I don't know, Prince didn't necessarily put them front and center a lot of the time, but in that album. But it's strange, because on paper you think, oh yeah, that's going to be a well-known project, but it never really hit that height. So I mean, obviously with Rave, we've had the kind of Rave Into. I was happy that Rave Into came out, because at the time Rave Into was just going for crazy money, and most of them were bootlegs and stuff. So that's just, I'm glad that's come out.
Just to get Beautiful Strange.
Well, we also said that one of the first things they had to do was just get everything should have been reissued, get it all out. So you need the whole. There shouldn't be a Prince album that's officially released that is difficult or hugely expensive to get.
None of them should be out of print. They should all be out there. Yeah. You shouldn't.
I would argue even they should also put the NPG Music Club, sessions and collections out there. But they should. The very first thing you need to do is make everything available, whether that's physical or.
Well, that's another interesting thing. You're talking about the MPG Music Club, because again, there was a lot of was it trademarks of things that were copyrighted or something recently by the estate or something, including those, weren't there? Or something, giving a lot of hopes that there might be reintroducing something like that. There was was it something like that happened?
It's difficult, because I think they did one of these lawyer kind of capture every possible thing we might potentially need, and we'll get it. And that's standard in the sense you always try and patent things that you might use, whether you do or you don't. But it does, we can hope. I mean, the NPG Music Club, that's one of the things most people say to me, hardcore Prince fans, they really want your face, a website you can go to, and I can download this album I can download, this live show I can download, this
or buy the physical copies or everything.
Just one hub that has it
one
all.
hub for all of it. That would be pretty special. Definitely. Well, we've got, it was an example, of course, just to the point, or not all albums will be interesting as a special edition. Definitely. As you say, they're the major ones that are screaming out for it, and they're the lesser ones that you think, well, I don't know. Do you want a special, edition of Chaos and Disorder? I don't know. Maybe could that go with the Gold Experience? But again, Gold Experience is coming out.
If I was releasing Chaos and Disorder, I would actually put Slave to the Trade, that documentary. Prince kind of in that whole kind of to give it a kind of narrative. Look, this is what was going on with Prince at the time. This is what
and would have to make an honourable mention for Danny of Undertaker as well, as he's not present tonight.
Of course, yes, absolutely. The Undertaker, yes. I think there's lots of projects. I mean, I've had a lot of people actually talking about what they would put on like an Originals too. What would they choose to do on that? I mean,
there was a lot of talk about that at the time, wasn't there? There was going to be a second one, but that kind of disappeared, lost traction. But whether it was ever in the works,
Prince does get overlooked for that. He's obviously, I know this is I won't rant, but the fact that he's not in the Songwriters Hall of Fame is
shocking.
Don't understand. And Originals too would at least lend more credence to that. But it's interesting because, like you said, it does feel a bit scattershot because you've got, I suppose, different elements competing. But I hope the Netflix thing will be. Do you know what also I hope? As soon as they put the Netflix documentary out, they immediately put out a few concerts on Netflix, because it's one thing to get people interested in Prince. So say you're watching Netflix and you say, I love that documentary, I'd love to know more about the music, great. And then Netflix can say, well, do you want to watch Musicology Tour? Do you want to watch the 21 Nights, whatever? Do you want to watch this? Then you get people interested in him, and then you say, well, watch this concert, and then who knows, they could start their journey for them.
You could have or you could have an expanded 21 Nights opus, re-released, but with a proper full show. The the Indigo Night CD,
how big could that
Planet
be?
Earth, or
that could be huge, couldn't it?
It could be huge. How about 21 discs every single night? I'd watch them all.
Well, they're all filmed. We saw all the shows.
All filmed.
They're all different in their own way. Who knows? We might get a Netflix soundtrack. I mean, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Imagine if you did that, like a Netflix, basically a Netflix kind of accompaniment where you can actually have a selection of cuts throughout his career. In fact, you can make it interactive. Do you know what the heck? Make it interactive. You're watching, like, I think on Netflix they did Charlie Brooker's Bandersnatch, and it's interactive, and you could do that with a Prince documentary. You could literally say, here's this song, press the button to listen to this song, and then you go back and kind of talk about it. I mean, why not? We've got the technology, we can always do it.
Richard Cole has a theory that the release of the Netflix doc may result in another best of package. Well, there hasn't been one.
I think that's not a bad shout. If you get new fans in, then having a kind of compilation is often, for a lot of people, I know a lot of people, you've got to print through the hits,
What about a reissue of the hits, the B-sides? That, because they always seem to me the most comprehensive so far, better than the others that they did.
I think I love that one. I love the Ultimate one because of the
Ultimate was good,
the extended. But I think that getting something like the hits. I mean, if they could update it to include the second half of his career, that would be great. But I think you're right, because I think that's the thing. People will seek that out. People will grab onto a best of collection, and then they might go off and find out the individual albums they're from, because that you can really push that. And I think that's not a bad shout. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd like to see that.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got Purple Rain coming out. That's May, June. When was it coming out? June, isn't it? June.
I think,
June. Syracuse is coming out in June. When's the Netflix documentary coming out? Is that they won't know yet? That's the
I think they've still got question. I think their contract, somebody said, was at least possibly for another year, but we don't know. It could be later this year. It could be. I mean, I'm not a betting man, but I would hope by at least autumn.
So we got Gold Experience Record Store Day, isn't it? When's that coming out? Is that May, June? When's that? That's summertime, is it? I can't remember.
That's summertime as well.
That's summertime.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be happening around the same time then. You've got Purple Rain, Gold Experience.
And then the vault curator mentions, obviously, you've got Jack White's intervention with Camille.
Yes, we got that, of course.
Well,
we were going to get around to that. There's, it's just a tiny bit of news, that one. I mean, yeah, that would be something else, wouldn't it?
Edgar Cruz said 2023. Alan Lead said 2023, which is frustrating, because I know they need to do a good job, but equally, how long does it take? I mean, it's a documentary. I don't think they spent this long making The Godfather. I mean, I know it's they need to do a good job, and I understand it's important to get it right, but they're holding up so many projects.
They're probably waiting for Mark Anthony to get singing lessons.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's never going to be enough for some Prince fans. I understand, because if it's 8 episodes, if it's 10 episodes, it's never going to be enough. I understand. No. And it's only a jumping off point, because however in-depth the documentary can be, you could spend hours on each year. But I understand that, and it's a place for people to kind of, get general access to it and see it recommended. This is how people might get into Prince, because they'll watch Netflix and their Sunday will say, "Oh, you watch this, would you like this?" And I think that's how people often get into things. But equally, there comes a point where we need to get it done and get it out there. And I mean, they've got obviously access to the the material to put in it. They've got a lot of its interviews and things like that. They're obviously going to promote it because it's Netflix and it's going to be a big thing, and I think lots of people talk about. And it'll be interesting to see how much of a spike in interest in Prince this brings out, because in terms of the general public, this is probably one of the biggest things over the next couple of years that will really interest
because how many million people will ever watch Netflix, so it's massive, so it really will grab attention, and there's bound to be a massive spike in sales afterwards, as if he performed at a festival or something, or after he passed away. Whenever something like that happens in an artist, sales always just rocket, don't they, for the next week or so. But,
I think Pink has documentaries on there, and other people, and I think it's it's such a good. I wanted to do a great job. Obviously, I really absolutely do, and I think it's really important that they also put the work out there as well. We can't just have a documentary about the thing without the thing. I think Netflix have to put concerts on there, as it comes out, and say, here's some concerts so you can jump off. It's no good saying you're interested in Prince and then Netflix going, oh, that's all we've got. You need to say also we've got.
You've got to back it up with this.
Put a concert on Netflix is just signing a piece of paper in some ways, because you just if it's a concert that's already in existence at least. But I mean, I hope they do a good job. It's obviously it's going to be great just to have that interest in Prince, but then they also need to they need to, once that's done, we need to also do everything else. We need to get there on Amazon Prime. We need to get there on YouTube. We need to get there on TikTok, on whatever. Everything.
Absolutely, it's got to be out there. Absolutely. So let's go back a minute ago to as I say, Vault Creator was mentioning the Jack White in things. That's interesting, isn't it? Finally the release of the Camille album on vinyl. I mean, wow. I mean, what are people feeling about that? A lot of people are like, well, we've had the tracks for ages in one way or another. It's all, not that fussed, not that bothered. Is it, something excited about?
What I find strange about that is did he win it at an auction? It was at 50 grand he paid for this vinyl copy. And I'm thinking, presumably he doesn't need the vinyl copy to press the vinyl, does it? I don't know. I mean, he's obviously got agreement. He said they've got agreement for the estate, but you think I didn't realize he would have to buy the I don't know what
I don't know how it works.
Very strange. Very odd.
But interesting. When's that? I can't even remember when that's due to come out now.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not kind of officially slated. I mean,
it's a rumor.
We shall see. They may have been a bit preemptive, but
we shall see. I'll be at front of the line. I know Vault Creator will.
The thing is, he has that printing press for vinyl, so he's not held up in a way that I know. Obviously, at the moment, there's this big vinyl sort of delay, isn't there? There's a big hold up. So he doesn't have necessarily this problem, because he can just say, "Right, I want that done first," and that's it.
SMS 130. I'm here for a new greatest hits compilation, but the first of the Warner and post Warner songs on one release. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the hits 1 and 2 and the B-sides are great, but it only obviously brings you up to the 93.
93, exactly.
I mean, that's quite an interesting debate, because, like you say, from that point onwards, you've got to determine what are the key songs for Prince. And if you're going to have a kind of 93 onwards B-sides collection, what are the you know, it's interesting, but it's an interesting thing. I think you're right. Greatest hits. There's never been a really amazing Prince greatest hits for his entire career.
No,
and that's crazy when you think about it, because I can't think of any other artist. Like, I mean, I'm sure most other major artists have, you know, a greatest
some kind of anthology. Yeah. And I mean, they kind of did that other thing, didn't they? That anthology of the later stuff, didn't they? But it was digital only, wasn't it?
Yes. But I mean,
you know,
I just think having one. Well, I mean, it couldn't be. You know, it couldn't be really be an album. It'd have to be at least. Well, I don't know. It'd have to be, you know, two or three. I think, as a casual listener, to get people in. I mean, obviously for the hardcore, that's a different thing, because they're going to have those songs and it won't appeal to them. But it depends on whether you bring people in or not. I mean, some people have said, you know, they're not that. They're not that worried. They just enjoy the music and like.
No, well, the thing is, like Billion Dollar Man saying, I hate hit albums, and I know exactly what you mean. I've never been one for the greatest hits compilations. It normally meant for the artist that either your career's over or you're dead. You know, basically, that's what it used to be.
Especially that's what and they'd fade out the end, didn't they? Like
always fade them out, edits and what have you. Like, and also in the modern world, where the way we have music and consume it now, and most of us create our own hits albums. You know, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Prince tracks we make. You know, the playlists you can make are endless. So you know, but obviously, looking at the bigger picture for the general public, which is what's important. It's not about us. We know we love Prince. We know what it's all about. It's about the people who don't. It's about the people who are out there that not heard him or may just know a little bit about him, and it's about hooking them in, reeling them in, and you've got to have something that, you know, is going to continue this for future generations. Once you know, because when we're all gone, what, you know? So it's vitally important. So
I think that's interesting. SMS said the you know, follow-up greatest hits and rarities collection covering 94 to 2016 is a must. Also, it was time for the hits B-sides 2 style follow-up, and that would be
that's a nice idea.
Fascinating, to have that, because I think the B-sides for me was one of the most interesting parts of, you know, the hits 1 and 2. I think it absolutely was.
That was the best bit.
We were saying also, well, just looking back at what's happened, you know, obviously because it's, you know, April again, so we're looking at, you know, 6 years, and I think inevitably after what happened, it was going to take a while for the estate to find their feet, you know. And I think it was going to take a while, and it's still not really fully completed, you know, yet. But I think it's you know, they may have stumbled a bit at first, but hopefully if we can get into some kind of routine. I mean, there's not you know, it's difficult to like say, because it's not an overarching plan. You don't know where they're going to. I mean, some people have argued, are they just going from most popular, like Purple Rain, you know, 1999, Sign of the Times, kind of, you know, that kind of, are they? It's Diamonds and Pearls. Are they kind of just working from the most popular? I mean, in terms of sales, Prince projects downwards, or is there going to be a different?
Yeah, I agree. We were talking about this earlier. What do you guys think of the June release, Prince and Evolution Live Collector's Edition? Yeah, we were talking about that a little while earlier. As you say, it's mixed really. It's good that it's going to be on a Blu-ray. About time, and from what we've seen on the YouTube release, the picture does look better in certain shots than the DVD. So that's nice, and obviously having the audio, I suppose, is good. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's like. Yeah,
I had to buy a DVD player for Welcome to America. So
I know. Or Blu-ray player. Like,
Some people said, though, you know, there's lots of other Purple Rain shows, obviously.
But never seen any of them.
I just think, I don't know. I think, you know, it's weird for us, isn't it? Because we know it so well, don't we? I don't know. I mean,
the odd thing is that the only other version I think I've seen is the video for "I Would Die for You," isn't it? The official video, and that's from a different show.
Okay.
And that one, Prince's voice is really hoarse because he struggles a bit. He's like he's lost his voice a bit, and I always thought that's an odd choice of performance to show, you know, for the video. But there you go.
I think it's. Do you know what the one thing it did? The one thing nobody can argue that it did is that it's been all over the internet about the Purple Rain release, and it's been on news sites. It's been on music things. I've seen it lots of people on Twitter. It was trending for a bit, and I think that in itself is a good thing. Because I don't think it's the Prince estate's fault. It's just a way of the world at the moment that you have something come out, and I don't mean forgotten, but it comes out and then it's kind of like people just move on so quickly. Somebody releases an album and 2 days later they're like, what's next? It's kind of not like it used to be, obviously, with that.
You were saying a minute ago though about the estate and how how they've it's taken a while. When you think about it, it's such the situation is unlike any there's ever been. Especially the way Prince didn't leave a will, the amount of work he created, the whole thing, everything that he did. It's just unprecedented, and that's why it's been so difficult to untangle it all. And his business dealers were so difficult, the things that he dealt with and how he did things and how he distributed it and all the rest of it. It must have been a real nightmare, I can imagine, to try and wade through it all.
It's kind of weird because you're right. On one hand, how he managed to do all this, I can't get my head around. I mean, he did all that. He didn't have, he made the business decisions on that. But I think also, to me, it's really interesting because you're right. It's unique because first of all, no one's had a vault like Prince. No one's had the amount of work. Second of all, he did deals with lots of different labels, particularly second half of his career, his independent labels and various other things. Thirdly, he often did these kind of independent deals where, we had that thing where Sign of the Times and various things sort of ended up in lots of different hands, and it was just it is complicated. It's very, and like you say, it's also unlike any other artist because a lot of artists, you might have 1 or 2 albums worth of stuff in the vault. I mean, he's got so much. How do you even begin with that? And there's so many things to pull together. I think you're right. I think it's and everybody wants their their piece of your company. And it's I think you're right in a sense. It was just the legal, what you call it, just ongoing drama is just, we need it settled one way or the other, just so we can know where we're going. I mean, and plus you've got the further thing, which is also very unusual in that Paisley Park.
Exactly.
Most artists don't have a place like that. So what is there? I mean, they've got to keep going, haven't they? How do they keep going?
How do they keep it?
The celebration brings in a bit of money, but and the tours, but is that going to be enough? I don't know how their income. I mean, I don't know. Are people recording there in the way
no one knows? Yeah. Because I mean, we know, Prince, continually toured to keep that, building going, to pay the bills for another few years, do a few million for a tour because it was expensive to run. That's a massive complex.
And plus, it's not like, obviously, this is part of what made Prince a genius in the way he sort of stepped. He stayed true to Minneapolis, but he kind of stayed out of the LA kind of New York kind of scene, and that's part of the thing because Paisley Park is not somewhere you go. I'm going to tourist. I'm going to London. I'm going to New York. I'll see Paisley Park while I'm there. You've got to specifically go out there, and it's not.
That's the only thing you're going to see.
Thing, that you can get to. So you've got to kind of constantly. But then, like you said to me, and I think it's a really good point. How many people would love to go? I've recorded my album at Paisley Park. I recorded it at Prince's studio. That's a big selling point, sure.
Absolutely.
Just like MC Hammer.
What happened there? I know. That's how he got to use Pray. When Doves Cry.
And Pray, and Soft and Wet.
Soft and Wet. He obviously tapped him up that day. While he was there. Come on.
I remember seeing a montage on British TV. I think it was some award show, and they ran When Doves Cry straight into Pray. And
oh my God!
Amazing,
that's
amazing
why
stuff.
we pray. Whatever happened to Hammer, eh? The Edgar Cruz, the complex was a room where he passed it. Yeah.
Well, you see the egg. I mean, the egg was.
The police pics were heartbreaking. What a mess.
The egg was kind of destined for something, and it didn't happen. And it was clearly.
He never did swing by the egg.
I mean, that's the thing. Let's talk about it being a restaurant. Talk about this being this. I mean, the thing is, Prince was. There was a lot of things he was responsible for, and some of it, like you say, it's not. It did need a lot of work, Paisley Park.
Yeah, got into a lot of disrepair.
I mean, that's what worries me. I'll be honest. That's one of the things that worries me the most is that the music will always be here. I think, and there'll always be people who appreciate Prince's music 100 years from now. My concern is the physical Paisley Park. I'm not trying to sensationalize, but then it's got to keep going. And how does it keep going? Because obviously COVID has hit pandemics, which is a real shame. You've got COVID. It's really stopped people, the celebrations and visiting Paisley. But now at least people are going. But you've got to think of new ideas constantly to get to get income for Paisley. And
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how much it costs to run, but it can't be cheap.
No, it can't be. It can't be. And as you say, that it was in a state of disrepair, wasn't it? There was, I think there were talks. Wasn't the vault? It was leaking, wasn't it? Water damage in the vault. I mean, God's sake, you just wonder what damage has been done there. And you saw pictures of some of the rooms, and they were sparse, and there was wires hanging out and stuff everywhere. And you think, my God, just well, don't know what happened there really, or he just, I don't know, cutting costs, couldn't afford to keep it the way he wanted it, or just, I don't know, maybe, who knows. But is Paisley Park a place to record music? It was once.
I mean, that's the thing. I think obviously now it's all in Iron Mountain and whatever, and I don't know. It worries me. Edgar Cruz said, I share my worries. I don't see it last for another decade. I think they need to change. If they're going to keep Paisley Park going, they're going to have to think differently about how they bring income in. I don't know, obviously, the exact financial arrangement. I don't know exactly what the deal is. If they get any kind of sort of, is it a self-contained standalone entity? Do they get any support from the wider estate? I don't know.
Yeah, because the thing is, like with tours, sooner or later, everyone who wants to go is gone. That's that. There's only so many times you're going to go if it's not changed up a lot. Maybe this other thing that's been announced, this kind of interactive experiencing that's coming out. I'm surprised that's not going to be at Paisley, or debuting at Paisley, because that looks something interesting, doesn't it?
Well, that's the thing, because he could do those other things. I mean, Prince used to have concerts there, but then the concerts were not, I say for locals, they were charging $10-15, so it wasn't like a huge income. But you're right. I think stuff like that, maybe they could do a touring thing. I mean, we both saw the My Name is Prince exhibition.
Yes.
If Paisley could do that, take the Paisley show around to London, to New York, to wherever, and do that, then you could bring that income in. You could sell lots of merch.
Absolutely.
There's lots of things you could do, but there's a lot of money. I mean, you think of the size of that place, you think of the technology, and not being thingy, but the recording studios, I imagine, are something that has to be kept up to date. It has to be, the technology improves over time. You need to have it state of the art to get people to record there. So that's the problem. Billion Dollar Man said in 1988 had 200 people working at the park. That is crazy, isn't it?
I remember he had a whole.
You had a picture. Do you remember that picture where they had Prince? They had lots of the staff outside of there, and Paisley the cat.
Oh God, he had that whole, wardrobe making clothes for everybody, 24/7. And
you think about gardeners, you think about chefs, you think about like say all the people working in the wardrobe department. You think about the stage hands, because he had the whole arena to kind of practice his tours, didn't he?
Yeah, and he'd have the whole set built, down there to rehearse.
Then you think of the receptionist, the admin. I mean,
it's crazy,
That's really interesting. Rennie Anderson, I think that's a really good point. Don't know why they don't make online tours. Oh, my thing's falling down.
I love it.
Prince didn't want that online tour there.
Oh, that's great. That's in the outtakes. That's brilliant. A live outtake. Fantastic.
Prince obviously barked at that suggestion.
He weren't happy. You had a sign. You had a sign.
I have to say, the online tour, I think, would be a brilliant, because I think it's really important, because for us, for people in the UK, for people in Holland, for people in France, it's not the cost of the tour of Paisley. It's the flying over there, it's the hotels, it's all the other stuff. And I mean, somebody was going recently, and they said for someone in Britain, it would cost £2,000 or £3,000, which is about $4,000. I'm not sure. And the thing is, that's a lot of money. And like I said, an online tour, I know it's not exactly the same. You can't experience exactly the same things. But for me, I would pay, 20, 25 quid, I don't know, whatever, to see an online tour, to see somebody literally walking me around Paisley Park and saying, here's Paisley Park, here's the story about Studio A, here's some music, here's the shoe collection, here's the, just walk me around Paisley Park. And you know what? I pay for that. And I wouldn't necessarily always pay $3,000 or $4,000 to go to Paisley, but all the time. But I would pay $25 to see, even if in an exhibition, say, look, we're going to take you through all of Prince's clothes. We're going to take you through Studio A, or we're going to take you through the different rooms. Absolutely. And technology nowadays, you can
easily done.
You just
yeah,
pick up a camera and walk me around.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who can't afford to go over there who would love to do it. So, for a lot of us, that's Prince saying the internet is dead.
That is Prince saying the internet is dead. That was Prince. I tell you, they said Prince has sort of a wicked sense of humour. I think that was the thing. It was like, you're not having tours around my house.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, bang. Yeah, that's great. We hear you, Prince. Yeah.
Oh, Prince.
Fantastic. Fantastic. But yeah, I mean, for a lot of us to go there is like a pilgrimage, isn't it? And it's something you might only ever do once in your life because of the cost. So I know personally, I would love to be able to do it once, but whether I ever can, whether I get there before,
I think this might be a good point to mention Dan Lacey, actually.
Yes. Yeah. Tragic news earlier this year. Passing of Dan Lacey. Yeah. I mean, God, the work he did. I mean, it was, all keeping that fence, all the paintings and the pictures. Yeah, tragic news. It was a couple of months ago, or more now.
Yeah,
he passed away, didn't he?
Yeah. He was known as Painter's Pancakes on Twitter, and Dan Lacey would paint pictures of Prince and other artists, but he would also look after the kind of Riley Creek area. He would look after Prince's the Paisley Park kind of place. He just did it as a act of love. He did that to look after Prince's legacy, and he did an amazing job, and he just did it for free. So generous with his time and with his amazing artist. But he just would tidy up. He would make sure things are okay, repair them, look after that. And I think he was such an amazing guy. The work he did, to do that, it wasn't working for the estate. He just did it because he wanted those things to be looked after for Prince's memory to continue. And I think he obviously struggled with illness for a while, but he was always painting. Even in the hospital bed, you'd see him painting. And, he was just an amazing guy. And I think there are so many people who we would never have met if it weren't for the Prince community, if it wasn't for the internet. I mean, when we were young, you listened to Prince. None of my friends were into Prince. You didn't talk to other Prince fans other than through Controversy magazine or something like that. But you get to meet people like Dan, and you get to connect with people who you think it would be possible before. So I mean, we miss Dan, and it's there's lots of people who struggle with various things, but this Prince community brings us all together, and I think that's a really important. And we're all different. We all kind of have not only our different views about Prince, but we kind of just all come from different backgrounds. But Prince pulls us together, and that we always say that's the greatest thing about this, to find this community. It really, really, really
absolutely
is.
Yeah, absolutely. So rest in peace, Dan. He's up there with Prince now. Absolutely. So that was sad news. So what else has been going on? God, it's been so much. There's
so many things. And,
it seems to be almost every other week there's another rumor or news or something at the moment. It's just sort of gone into overdrive, isn't it? At the moment, it's just.
I mean, in a sense, this is good. In a sense, because this is very Prince, isn't it? Having these hit and run projects that you don't know about when they come out, and obviously we've had Welcome to America.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean, if we talk about the 6 years, we've had Welcome to America. We've had obviously the 1999 Deluxe, which is one of my favourites. The 1999
same
Deluxe,
here.
I think it's just amazing. Obviously, we've got the Son of the Times Deluxe.
Yeah.
We've had so many reissues to get vinyl copies of Ray and 3121 and Musicology and
Planet Earth.
Just there's lots of things going on, and I think and actually seeing Prince's music used a lot more in movies. There's been, I think, Sing 2. They've got with Let's Go Crazy, and he's been in lots of movies. Mary Don't You Weep was in a movie. Fantastic. That was quite an emotional moment in there. And I think that just to see Prince become more appreciated, because I've always felt, we might be biased, but I think Prince is underappreciated. I don't think he gets the recognition that he gets, and I couldn't understand why. I spoke to some people, and they said in America, their mum, for example, their mother or their dad would say they couldn't listen to Prince. Like, they'd let him listen to Michael Jackson, or they'd let him listen to whoever else, Lionel Richie, whatever. They would let him listen to it. They wouldn't let him listen to Prince. They said, no, he's too sexual. He's too this. And it's crazy, because I always saw Prince as sexual and spiritual, the whole human
yes
gambit, and I'm hoping people will reevaluate that and look into that and not be put off by. I mean, to be fair, obviously music now can be incredibly sexual. It's a very different time. It's not quite the same thing, but I think
it's funny because no, I was going to say, when I started listening to Prince, like you say, it was always sort of seen as an acquired taste back then. It was, and it was almost like, I always think of that scene in Purple Rain, where it says, your music makes sense to no one but yourself, because that's how a lot of other people on the outside used to sort of view it. They thought it was a bit weird, and some of his,
they didn't understand, because I think Prince dressed differently. He kind of
exactly, the way he looked,
the way he looked, and it was really odd to me how people didn't. I couldn't understand why people couldn't appreciate the genius, and at the time, I had big Lovesexy pictures on my wall, and people said, "Oh God, that's so strange. He looks so strange. And, why is he doing that? Why is he naked on Lovesexy? What's he doing?" And they really didn't understand. And I think that's and part of it was also Prince, in a sense of not feeling he was being treated fairly by the internet, by YouTube, by Spotify, and saying, "I'm not getting what I should be getting on the artist." And we understand that, because like with ticket touts as well, you've got a situation where Prince is making X amount and a ticket tout's making $2.5 grand off his tickets. It's crazy. But I think so that not damaged, but kind of it stopped a lot of people from discovering Prince, because he wasn't on social media. Now he is to a great deal more. I'm hoping that can kind of push forward.
What do you guys think we'll get in the second half of the year, release-wise? That's something we're going to move on to. Yeah, definitely in a minute. Maybe SD Parade or Diamonds and Pearls. Well, that's been in the pipeline. Apparently, Parade is done and dusted, wasn't it? It was ready to go. So
that's what I've heard. I've heard Parade. I've heard Parade is pretty much ready.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It keeps getting put back, doesn't it?
Diamonds and Pearls is the rumor at the moment. I think we need something this year, that's for sure. If we're not going to get a Netflix documentary until 2023, we need a super deluxe. Obviously we're getting a few items in June. So I think, I don't know what the lead time is, but if you announce a super deluxe, you're talking usually about what, 4 months maybe, I don't know, till it comes out. So if we're April now, if you announce something now, it's not going to come out till what, August maybe, I don't know.
Maybe,
So I think we need. I think. I wouldn't like to bet, but lots of strong rumors about obviously Diamonds and Pearls. I think Parade is huge, but there's a danger. Like I say again, we're staying very much in that mid 80s.
Got to get out of that. Got to get out of that. But they see crystal ball. Well, that's interesting.
Sorry, it's so funny, Edgar. Like, my parents thought I was gay when I had that naked Prince poster. In my room. I had that poster too, and I remember one of my school friends coming round and then going to school and saying, "Oh, he's got a picture of a naked man on his wall." They couldn't understand how it was. Obviously in America they put it in a brown paper bag.
That's right, like you're buying a Rude magazine.
People couldn't understand, and they couldn't understand all the makeup. My auntie at the time said, "How can you?" Her exact words were, "How can you like someone who looks like that?" She was really kind of horrified by this idea, and it was really strange. And the Lovesexy tour was, I played it. I loved it. I couldn't understand how people couldn't see.
What a tour!
This, but
I know we've seen that show thousands of times, but please get that on a Blu-ray. For God's sake, I've been listening to Lovesexy this week because I've been going through once a year. I go through the albums, the discography.
Do you?
I do.
Wow. From beginning to end, the whole.
For the beginning to the end. Yep.
Wow.
So so this week I did Parade and Sign of the Times, Black Album, and Lovesexy.
Wow.
So that's
quite a good week.
Really good week. And then you just forget how good those songs are, especially the Black Album the other day. Cindy C. I love it. It's just this is great stuff.
Edgar said Sign of the Times Super Deluxe was released in September, was announced in June. So June, July, August, September. That's about right. So if we're in April now, so we're going to have
these. We've got June releases coming up already, so maybe after they've released, they will announce.
But then if you announce it in June, you're looking at what, October, September,
October again.
Maybe. That's
I mean, Diamonds and Pearls was released in October, wasn't it? Anyway, I think originally, wasn't it? Something like that. But
I think that would be a good shout. If we could have something pre-Christmas, that would be great. I mean,
that
obviously, if you happen to want to throw in, an extensive 21 nights, then just go ahead. I don't mind. I'd love the state to do is to do some surprises. Just I think they need to make more of that social media. But
surprises when they don't cock it up though would be nice. But like Do Me Baby, getting 1982 on the cassettes of 1981 or whatever it was. Or that's another thing we talk about. Cocking up, I know. Cocking up the dates on the album sleeves and all that. Oh dear.
Was it 1953 they put? That was
something like that.
And then we had Get It Up. Did we?
Get It Up. I love it.
Get It Up or Get It Off. Was it Get? I'm not.
Oh dear.
It was Get You Off or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was Get You Off.
Is someone doing this on purpose? You think? Did they not have any quality control, or someone look through these things before they're released? And have a look. It's terrible.
I think that's a good. I think it's a good shout. September, October, maybe November. I think. Do you know what? If I was a Princess Day, I'd release little quick wins, like little 30-second videos or something people haven't seen. You see Prince behind the scenes or something, or the makeup mirror, or just rehearsing. Just 30-second things. Just put them out there on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Just get a bit of kind of.
Well, YouTube has its own shorts thing, doesn't it? YouTube Shorts, so they can put them on there, couldn't they? So,
just little bits to keep their social. I think they're taking on. They recently took on social media teams. I'm hoping they'll kind of. Really push that, because there's so much stuff you could put out there. I think the social media aspect of it is crucial if we're going to reach new people and get that message out there, because you look at the amount of interest there is in Prince and Facebook groups. These groups have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people in them.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope they re-release 1999 Super Deluxe on vinyl. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. It's so hard to get hold of now, and expensive as well. Well, how many was it? 10 LPs or something? Was it, or something ridiculous?
See, this is
I don't remember how many it was now.
Slightly worrying. It's like there's so many things where people are buying these limited edition things, and then they're going on eBay for
scalping.
We saw the Do Me Baby cassette was going on for about 150 quid to like 100 quid, and Tony Tucker Get It Up. It was it's called.
Get It Up.
It was especially Jack You Off, and it was Get You Off. I think they put Get You Off instead of or something like that. And I don't know. It was just. It was just
like, come on,
I think the 1953 is probably the worst mistake. The 1953.
That was bad. That's pretty bad. Yeah.
I mean, they should have. Maybe that'll be a kind of rare collector's edition in the future. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, we know Simon Peacock. Yeah, but we know about that. Yeah, the Netflix commission. Yep, holding everything up at the moment.
And that's frustrating.
You name it.
I mean, if that's going to go on, if Netflix isn't going to be done till 2023, then we're going to have another frustrating year. Unfortunately, in a sense. Once that's done, like I say, there's lots of good things the Netflix documentary will do, and bringing new fans, and also in terms of clearing the way and focusing on his whole career. But do
you think Roadhouse Garden will ever get released? I wonder, because the Prince was working on that back in 99, wasn't he? 1999. So
what worries me is there comes a point, like I say, with certain projects, are they going to be able to sell enough to do that? I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get around this, because you could do the way Prince did it, and you could say we want pre-orders, and we will print the amount of orders we get, so there's no risk, there's no financial risk, you could argue. But are they going to do, the thing is, any project like that, if you push it enough and have interviews and various people, but that relies on having the people that work with Prince on site. Obviously, some people they have a good relationship with, like Susan Rogers. Some people, like Morris Day, it's a bit shaky at the moment. So, I mean, you have to have that kind of push, don't you? You need a bit of news to kind of get a bit of traction. I don't know. There's so many projects though. If you look at the unreleased Prince projects, huge.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously we had the track Roadhouse Garden, obviously on the Purple Rain, deluxe, which was obviously part of it. But I just wonder what else was on there, on that album, what it was, because he was working on it at the time, and then it just got left and put back on the back burner, and nothing ever happened. So, has any of those tracks ever made it out? The rest of them, I don't know.
At the time, need deluxe releases. That's a good shout. Yeah, I think
the time need deluxe release.
If they don't get the time on the Purple Rain Deluxe, what would they have to do? I mean, they've done some nice. We obviously got the Neapolitan ice cream castles and things like that, but they need. I think the time,
that coming soon.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to. I think a Purple Rain Deluxe with everything in there. I mean,
Yeah,
even
it
the
needs.
score. You could have the score in there.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Why
Yeah,
not? You know,
absolutely.
they've got that documentary, isn't there? A documentary of like the kind of premiere and various things. I mean, there's so much they could do. I think the problem is we know how much there is out there, and most of the frustration for the Prince community is actually we want it all. We're kind of we want it all, but then we are the people disproportionately who are buying these big deluxe sets. So I suppose in a sense that's not unreasonable, but it's I think the Netflix thing, once that's cleared and the states finally settled down, then hopefully we can get that kind of faster release. But then how much can we sustain? How much can you sustain? If you're the average person, are you really going to buy how
2
much
or
you
3
can
of them a
spend?
year? I mean, yeah, exactly. Because depending on what the package you want, I mean, that's the other thing, isn't it? It's like that Purple Rain release. People were saying, "Oh, you can only buy the Blu-ray with the CD. You can only buy why not with the vinyl?" But then there was a version, but you have to get it from the estate, and it's very expensive. And then and then you don't know what year it's going to arrive.
That's really important. I think they have to. It's really, really important. I think Michelle's mentioned this before, but they really need to have price points for everybody. Yeah. If you want to buy the massive deluxe £200 vinyl with Blu-ray, with DVD, with all the bits, fine. But equally, if you only want to buy the DVD or the Blu-ray, or you only want to buy the CD, there should be an option for you.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can afford it. And that way you get, arguably more sales, because you get lots of different people doing lots of different things. I think it's I know why they do it. They say this is an exclusive at the estate. You have to buy it through us. We can charge you £300. We'll wait in the UK about 3 months, and then we'll get big import charges or whatever. But yeah, I think you have to let everybody. I don't want anybody to be excluded who say, "Oh, well, I can only afford." 20 quid for the DVD or the Blu-ray. That's fine. That's fine. You shouldn't be excluded for that. You shouldn't turn away people like that. I think I think that's important. Volker says he thinks one big release a year along with 1 or 2 minor ones.
Yeah, it's possible, isn't it?
And Edgar says, I think getting out multiple smaller releases like Welcome to America a year could be commercially more interesting for the estate than one big SDE a year. I actually agree. In some ways, it's weird because we do talk about super deluxes a lot.
Yes.
But some of the most interesting things aren't necessarily that. You're right. True. I think that's really that's really interesting. I think you could there's an argument. Some of the most interesting things are things you sort of didn't really expect. I mean, whether it's the MPG Music Club, whether it's Chocolate Invasion Slaughterhouse, whether it's for me, I've always gone on about it, but for me, it's the live stuff that needs more. There needs to be at least one Blu-ray streaming for every tour that is available. We need to have an officially out there parade, and officially out there 21 nights, and officially out there a new tour, whatever. We need to have all those things.
All of them.
That's the minimum. You should have at least.
Absolutely.
I don't know many major artists the stature of Prince where there isn't an official document of at least every tour.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know, but I imagine Madonna has one of every tour. I'm sure Michael Jackson did. I don't understand.
It's come on. And
all
of those tours so iconic as well. Come on,
the best live performer there ever was, in my opinion. The fact that we don't get to see that. I mean,
shocking.
The 21 nights really huge in Britain, and
Again, are they being held up by the Netflix? Who knows? A lot of that stuff.
I mean, from what I understand, they've only got one more year. If 2023 is there, that's it, unless they extend it. So hopefully, I mean, I'm sure when Netflix have made it, I'm sure they'll trail it and advertise it for a few months, won't they? Before it comes. So,
online subscription service. Online subscription service with a new concert every month. That's like an MPG Music Club kind of thing. I
would love that. I think that's what I would prefer. I would prefer like an MPG Music Club. You go to a website and you say, I can download this video, I can download this track, I can pay and get that. And I know there's an argument that some people will take that and they'll share it, but they do that now.
Would Prince be happy with all these deluxe releases? Well, it's interesting because if you see that interview that he did, who was it? You know that what was that one? What was it on MTV about the rave around the rave era? Was it Kurt? Was it who interviewed him? And he says about the stuff in the vault. He asks him about all the stuff in the vault, and he says, "I'll give it away one day." He said, "Absolutely." He goes, I want everyone to hear it. He wasn't bothered. All the stuff in there, he wanted it all out there, and then want to hear it eventually. So, would he be happy with the releases? So,
I think the thing is, and we've said this before, that Prince could tour, and the thing is, he could get 20-40 million from Musicology tour. He could go out and earn this money to keep Paisley Park going and to keep the other things going. Obviously, that's income that is no longer there because Prince isn't here. And I think that's the key thing. If they're going to keep Paisley going, I mean, to keep the estate going, if you took Paisley Park out of the equation for 1 second and said, well, just the estate, I actually think you could keep going. I don't think that's an expensive thing to keep going. I think that just generates money. I think that's not hugely, once you've now got rid of all the lawyers' fees and whatever. I think, but to keep Paisley going into the other things, I think you need to do something different, because Prince had that live income and we don't have that. So what do we do? Do we make that up with live DVDs or SDEs? I don't know. I mean, it's difficult. Prince obviously didn't. I always find this quite not sad, but I don't think Prince had someone he could trust enough to. I don't think he thought about these things necessarily, but I also don't think he trusted someone enough to leave it to. Who could he leave it to? At the time, sadly, he had no, wife, no son. Sadly, he had no, there's nobody obvious he would leave it to. So I mean, and you know what? Even if he did leave it to someone, say he left it to, who knows? Say he left to anybody, whether that be Kirk Johnson, Larry Graham, Ty Cobb, whoever. We don't know what they would have done if one person had been left all that. They could have said,
"I'm going to sell it," or "I'm going to,"
or who knows? It's impossible to know. I mean, well, I've also said we. I mean, as in everybody here. That's an important part of it too, because we're the ones talking about Prince. I mean, all people here are the people talking about Prince and keeping that going. So in a sense, there's a very strong role for the community to play in discussing Prince's work. So
it was Kurt Loder interview. Remember?
Yes.
Really good interview, that one, and that's where he says about the stuff in the vault. We said, I'll give it away one day. He says. But,
Netflix may also have a grace period. Netflix may also have a grace period after release, which could hold things up too. That's very true. Just because it comes out, they might want to enjoy that for a while. Like I say, I just hope it comes out alongside a couple of concerts as well. I really love listening to the SD edition of the albums, but I can't afford the physical copies. I listen online through subscriptions. I mean, that's a sticking point for a lot of people, though. It is expensive. As much as we want these things, you come out and then you go, oh, God, can I afford it? How am I going to? Especially the way of the world at the moment, the cost of living everywhere, everything that's going on. That's the thing. I think listening to it online, I know Prince obviously had his issues with certain, but then, he did go on Tidal and various. I think the thing is, if that gets millions of people to listen to Prince, that adds up. And Prince's figures, we know, don't we, from watching YouTube and watching Spotify, his figures are nowhere near where they should be. There should be a lot more. It should be loads more. But that's because he wasn't on the internet for a while, social media and stuff like that. So, but those views need to be much higher, much higher.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the other day after the second day or something that Let's Go Crazy was up, it had like 50,000 views. It's like in a couple of days. You think, is that all?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's it's difficult. $1 Billion Man said Prince didn't want any holograms of him on set. That's very true. He was very clear about that. That's something that that's the other thing. We have to do it with respect. They can't just sell out. I think they have to respect Prince's legacy, the things he stood for, and it has to be in keeping with who Prince was. And don't get me wrong, it's difficult because it's very easy for us to say, well, Prince would want this or Prince would want that. And Prince, we know, famously changed his mind just constantly. He would go from one thing to another. So that's understandable, but we need to do it with respect. I don't think anybody wants to see, Prince on a, I don't know, packet of Cheerios or whatever. I don't know. I mean, you've got to kind of. You can't see. You got. I mean, using his music in films, I think, is fine in a context. He was happy to do that. He did that with Showgirls. I'll do anything. Had it have happened. He did that if the circumstances were right, but I think yeah, we have to do it with respect, and I think hologram would just be very, very, very strange. And I think we've always said that it's important not to
we don't want to see that.
We don't want to you don't want to set out. There's no need to. He's got so much music. There's no need to. No need.
No, exactly. Artful. Hi, I didn't know you were going live. Oh.
It was a last minute thing. To be fair, we were.
Well, I put it out on Twitter and I put it out on my channel, but not everyone always sees these things. So yeah.
Ronald, is there a list online with all live shows, videos played at Paisley Park after dark and the celebrations?
It might be on.
I'm thinking there must be. I presume Prince Vault would probably have something, but there must be. I'm sure there's. That's a really good point. I'm sure. I don't know actually with the celebrations though. I don't know if there is. I mean, there must. I feel like there must be, and yet I can't think where that would be. But the celebrations, that's a very good point. That's actually a very good point about the celebrations generally, because I know that lots of people go and it makes lots of money for the estate, and I understand they want people to go there to spend their money. But then part of me thinks, could you not say, they have these discussions on the stage at celebrations, and they have these things. Could you not at least let some people who live too far away or can't get there or can't afford to get there to say, look, we'll put this on live stream, give us 10 quid, whatever, 20 quid. You can watch these discussions, you can watch this performance or whatever. So let people have access from around the world, because we have to be very cognizant of the fact that there are Prince fans all over the world. And they want to be able to see, I'm not saying they get the whole experience, but you want to at least be part of celebration. Celebration is not just about the people in America at Paisley Park. It should be about the whole world celebrating Prince. So I think we should have that online access. Just put a camera up, say, look, you can pay a little bit of money, just like a subscription, well, even to $10, $20, chip in what you can. Andy Allo does this. Or she'll do a concert and she'll say, like, pay what you can afford, basically. And just so we can watch these things, because we don't want to shut anybody out who might be interested in Prince. There are people who are interested in Prince who want to learn more, but they don't necessarily have the money to sort of fly from Italy to
Mr. Ant, ever thought of purple curtains? Well, that'd be nice, but when you're married, you have to have compromises. So, there is a lot of Prince stuff around the house. I redecorated the hallway a couple of years ago to colours that are like the Paisley Park atrium. So I've got pinks and creams in the hallway, and canvas pictures of all the Prince's album covers, and symbols on the wall, and God knows
He's gradually taking over the house.
I'm gradually taking over the house. So maybe I'll get purple curtains soon if I can get one. But I'll have to redecorate the whole room so it'll match purple curtains. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, there's a question I never thought I would have got asked, but there you go. Thanks for that one.
Volcarate, if they offer an online version, more people may stay at home. It might be better if after the event, the highlights video is edited together and put online. I agree. I would always say that I think what they could do, I think a highlights package afterward would be brilliant. I would also say that they could do like one session. They could say they're having, I don't know, discussion with, I don't know, Maserati or the family, or what they could have one session where you can check in. You don't have the whole celebration experience, but you have one sort of hour-long broadcast, because it works as a kind of trailer for people saying, oh, that was good, maybe I'd want to go next year. But certainly a highlights package would be good. And do you know what? Having that highlights package, I would love to see fans just talk on that package about why they came to Paisley Park, what it means to them, have a bit of a tour, their experiences, and see, the celebration of Prince, not just in Paisley Park, but around Minneapolis, because they all go to diners, they go to other places, they go to the Purple Rain House, they go to, just let's get all that. Yeah, why not?
Well, we said before, you look at this, I know it's on a massive larger scale, but you look at the Star Wars celebrations that they hold every year, and the whole event is streamed on YouTube live when they have the celebrations, and they have panels, and they have Mark Hamill, all the people, and they'll do an audience, the talk, and it's all streamed live. And it's
how does that work? Do you have to pay for that, or
no? You just log. It's all free. You just log in and watch it. Yeah.
Oh, it's free.
It's all free. Oh. Like to watch it on YouTube. Where they show various stuff. If you go, you obviously have to pay. If you want to go and watch, I've been to the celebration at London. It was fantastic. But the fact that they put it out there on YouTube for everyone to to watch certain things, they have live panel shows and everything like that. Why can't they do? I know it's a smaller scale, but something like that for
But it's a really good advertising tool, isn't it? Because A, you're advertising to people for them to go next year. B, you could push all the products you have. See, you can generate discussion and interest and things like that. And I think, you know, that would be also, it brings the whole Prince community together. You know,
I mean, they could even have a paid bit, so they could say, "Oh, we're going to have a panel, and we're talking about whatever show it may be. We're talking about Chicago Parade show or something. You know, there's a panel there, and you watch that. But at the end, if you want to watch the show, then you've got to pay whatever, $9.99 or whatever, if you want to watch it, or $5.99. And you know, they're making money, and you're getting free content as well. So you know."
That's the thing, actually. Yeah, you could do that, and then you can, like you say, if you have a DVD of that show or whatever, or something, you could push that as well. And I mean, I know it's easy for us to say. I know there's been lots of complications and companies involved in primary wave and this and that, but I just think there's, you know, a lot of good work being done by. I've got to be honest. I've always thought one of the biggest things is actually not. It sounds mad to say, but in a sense, it's just people sharing stuff. On Facebook, you see the amount of videos, you know, some official, lots of them not, and you see them on Facebook, and you see them on Twitter, and you see them shared across the internet, and you see people make web pages, and you see people talk about Prince, and all that is a huge promotion of Prince. And to everybody who does that, every time you do that, everything you're doing now helps. And so I think that's a key thing. I mean, we were just two blokes talking in a pub. I mean, do you know, I've noticed that there's so many things I learned from this community, and the one I've learned is I know nothing. The amount of people that know so much is crazy. It's crazy, and I'm just in awe. But everybody has their own Prince story, and everybody comes together, and I just I love you guys. I do love you guys. I do.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Purple Yoda. Hello.
Purple Yoda in the house.
He's in the house. Is the Netflix documentary still going ahead? Yes, it is. And it's we were discussing this quite a lot earlier, and it's the reason why various things have been held up. You know,
so hopefully the next
concerts, music, but the next year or so, apparently. And then once that, hopefully, then we can start getting piano and a microphone and various other things, bits and pieces. But you know,
BB says,
BB
Elvis did a satellite live stream from 1974 in a lower from Hawaii. Why don't they do it for us? That's the thing. They could do. Sure, they could even do that with Prince related. You know, they have like occasionally they have concerts at Paisley Park, and they tend to sort of have, you know, people I think Liv Warfield or somebody sort of connected to Prince, and you know, even stuff like that, or just having a shared experience where you can live stream it. You know, I think that's really, they need to use this technology to really maximize that and get people, you know, and especially just give us. There's so much stuff out there. It's just a thing about Prince. There's so much stuff, isn't there?
Volcra, there should be a Prince convention where announcements are made for what to expect during the year. Yeah, do you want to arrange it?
I thought that was his job. Come on.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah,
that's the thing about the Prince thing. I know Prince, you never knew what to expect, and it feels a bit like that with the estate. You never quite know what's going to happen, do you? You never quite know what the next thing is going to be. So I know some legacy, they will say, look, we're doing this, then this, then this, and this. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit scattershot at the moment, unless there is some plan that we don't really know about. If it is just picking off the popular things, and then I don't know. But
yeah, you know, it's always seemed to be the way, you know, since the beginning, isn't it? There's never been a plan or a, you know, apart from the one time when, you know, the deal was made, you know, for the later stuff that was all going to be reissued, wasn't it? The Sony deal, wasn't it, and what have you? You know, but other than that,
I mean, I suppose there is an argument. You almost, I don't know. Sometimes you almost need one single group of people in charge. One entity, one entity saying, we are going to do this. This is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Michael Dean said he's not ready for the Netflix doc. I was surprised him saying it. He's not ready for it. Okay.
In what way?
I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I'm hearing all the right things from people, but then I suppose you never know. It's never going to be everything. No. But to me, if it just does his whole career, that would be a step in the right direction. Because, like I say, everything I've seen. I watched a documentary the other day about Prince, and I won't name it, but the thing is, it annoyed me because first of all, they did the thing, you know, they talk about an era and they show pictures of a different era. They'll talk about Dirty Mind and show pictures of Diamonds and Pearls, or they'll talk about, you know, and they'll show the wrong pictures. That drives me mad. But second of all, it got to about sort of 91, Diamonds and Pearls, Symbol, got to that, talked a little bit about the slave period, and then in the last sort of 8 minutes, basically went from 1995 to 2016, like, and then he sort of carried on touring, and that was it. And you think it's just
rubbish.
Doesn't help,
No, definitely not. There's so many books like that as well where they get the pictures wrong and like that. Just like...
Yes, we had one recently, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We had that one recently. Yeah, pictures of Edie Nielsen and calling her Rhonda Smith or something, or one of them. I don't know. It's like, oh God's sake,
dear.
Oh dear. I don't know. Edgar Cruz, later this year, the Heirs Primary Wave will take over the estate. Curious to see if they do things differently. Yeah.
I'm hoping that they have a clear voice, and do you know what I think? Another thing would be a lot more communication. If Primary Wave said, look, say either communication in the sense of what do you want, or communication in the sense of here's what we're going to do. Just having that communication. I think the one thing that hasn't helped is all these different people wrestling, and like I say, maybe we just need. I mean, Primary Wave obviously know about legacy artists. Maybe they'll do that. I mean, I think the Prince community is probably one of the more difficult challenges because it's not the average estate. But I'm looking forward to just at least having it settled, and then we can go forward, and hopefully we can really sort this all out. I just I don't know. It's difficult. Artful mentioned maybe concerned Prince won't be portrayed as he was in reality. This is actually a very good point, because whatever happens in that Netflix documentary, that's the impression a large proportion of the public are going to have of Prince. Whatever it is, whatever they say, that's going to be what millions of people
think of him.
Netflix are going to believe. So how are they going to treat parts of his life, his private life in some ways? How are they going to treat parts of that, and how are they going to treat things that happen to him? And that's crucial, because that's where people are really going to form. People who don't know Prince's life deeply are probably going to form their opinion. So it's a big responsibility, because Netflix is probably the biggest streaming platform by far. So I mean, whatever people see on that, they will take that as that's what happened.
That's a very good point.
It also depends who they talk to, because
that's another good point as well.
They're not going to be able to talk to everybody, and some people won't necessarily want to talk to Netflix. So it depends. Whoever gets on that program is going to be the people who drive. The one thing I hope is they interview a wide range of people. They don't rely on 2 or 3 people. They interviewed a wide range of people, because people came and went in Prince's life, and it's important to get as many people as you can. So
yeah.
Oh
yeah, because it's just there's so many important people they can talk to, but don't worry.
Have you had the call yet? You haven't had the call yet.
No. What about you?
Maybe later.
Maybe later. Yeah. Come on. Oh dear, no. They always pick other channels and they pick us with. No.
We like being underground.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. I don't know. Don't worry. Any issues and we'll get loud. Yeah, we will. Yeah. Then you get loud. Then you get ugly.
Too bad we didn't get Questlove making this documentary. Now an Oscar-winning documentarian and someone with the true love and respect for Prince and his legacy. That's interesting, because he did the symphony, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
The symphony, and we saw that. That was very good. I mean, obviously, his special area is kind of that 83, 86, that period. But it's interesting to me, because he's so into Prince. He's, like I say, a documentary maker. You think it would be, quite frankly, even if he did an 83 to 86 or 80s documentary. But I mean, I mean,
or someone like Spike Lee or something.
That would be very easy to get someone like that involved. I think you need possibly different people on different parts of his career. But I think like I say, I mean, just having him make it would bring a lot of what's the word, sort of attention to the project. But maybe like I say, whole Prince's life is too much for any one documentary maker. Maybe you need to have several things. I think I think you just need to you need to get as many people from different perspectives as possible. But I think certainly Questlove could certainly make available some of his vast collection. He's got so many tapes and bootlegs and God knows what. I think he could certainly just show us around his collection. Actually, Questlove should just do that. Just show us his collection. Just film it. Show us everything he's got for Prince. I'd like to see that. Everything. Everything he's got for Prince. He's got, everything.
Absolutely. The community here would certainly be a good resource if any Netflix needed a balance. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've always said, why don't they just come to the community? One that they ask. There's so many knowledgeable people. People know, who are there and lived it. Got the experience, as you say, when they're putting things out and when they, it makes you wonder when you go to Paisley Park, people go on the tours and they're just, the people who they're employing to do that probably got very limited knowledge of Prince,
I think that's the thing. So I suppose you've got to get someone who is there available to work and knows a great deal about it. But you would assume that would be easier in Minneapolis than most places.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah,
you can imagine, you could, this is Studio A where, the Bad album was recorded. And
do you think that's is that part of the interview? Do you reckon a Prince knowledge?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Oh dear. Attention to detail is key. Absolutely.
Billy Donovan, I've learned so much about Prince from YouTube podcasts, Michael B, Jill Jones, Andrew Simone, and many more people we work with. Absolutely. Yeah. I think obviously Andrea Swenson does a lot of podcasts, but also I would point out there's channels like Violet Reality, there's channels like the Prince podcast. There's lots of channels where they interview everybody. They'll interview Kat, they'll interview Ingrid Chavez, they'll interview Michael B. They'll also interview a lot of the engineers that work with Prince in the studio. That's also fascinating to get that technical point. And I think some of the work done by those channels has been fantastic, and that's really got recorded. Interviews with Dave Roussan, interviews with sort of everybody worked with Prince, whether it be a photographer, whether it be an engineer. There's some amazing work there. They're documents for the in-depth knowledge of Prince that we may never get anywhere else. So I've got to say that some of their work they've done is incredible. I mean, you know who they all are, and kudos to them, because there's a lot of work, I'm sure, that goes on behind the scenes trying to get these interviews and things like that. So I mean,
I could listen to Susan Rogers speak for days, walk around. I know what you mean. Yeah, she should have her own ASMR channel. Oh dear. But no, she's very knowledgeable, very intelligent person, isn't she?
I mean, sometimes I think of Femi Gia, who is around the Love Sexy time, and just listening to people in the studio with Prince when there's very few other people around is always fascinating, how he did things and how he worked things out. And sometimes some of the best stories come from people you wouldn't necessarily expect. And I think everybody's got something to give. Whether, like I say, I think Jill Jones, Ingrid Chavez, Kat, and I mean,
Apollonia's got a YouTube channel now, hasn't she?
I have heard about this. Yes.
Yes, she's been interviewing. I mean, Andre Simone has been on there recently. Actually, I can't remember who was the first, but she's had a few interviews. Yeah, so
I suppose that's another point. I've never thought about that, of having someone in the Prince community interviewing other people in the Prince community, because it's got to be easier for them to approach them and say, look, I'm Apollonia, do you want an interview? And they go,
yeah, absolutely. And went for her interview, Sheila E.
And real funny stories from Michael B. I mean, Michael B. He's a funny guy. And Morris Hayes, obviously.
Morris Hayes, I love his interviews. They're brilliant. Yeah,
he's always sort of
He tells some great stories, doesn't he? I love the one about when Prince went to the hardware store. Leave the car unlocked and just ran. What is it you wanted to buy? I can't remember what he wanted now.
He just handed him stuff. Didn't Morris say, you can't leave your car.
Yeah,
you can't leave your car outside.
Because this is Minneapolis.
If it gets stolen, it goes, it's Minneapolis. It won't get stolen.
Yeah.
Just leave the car running.
Just left it running. I love it. Yeah. Just when it was so really mundane,
where Prince got some stuff and went up to him and said, can we buy this?
Yeah. Can we buy this?
They said that with often Prince, who'd carry $100 note at places, wouldn't he? And he didn't only pocket sometimes. So he'd just go, I'll just keep change, whatever you bought.
Yeah. Amazing. Great stories, though. Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely. So a bit of back and forth here about Questlove and Spike Lee. Some who would be better, who gets him better, but why not use them both? They can both be involved in a documentary.
I mean, the more different points of view, the better. You know,
Yeah.
The more we can kind of get, Prince's work to appreciate that. To appreciate it, I think is you know, I feel like, I don't know about you, but I still feel like even though as long as we've been sort of into Prince pretty much the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I still feel like I've sort of only scratched some of the surface. Sometimes I think, you know, there's so much more.
Oh yeah.
I hear a new thing every week, every other day practically.
Yeah.
I hear a new thing or a new fact or a new song or a new something or live.
You never know it all. You never know it all.
No.
Absolutely. You're always learning. Go, oh wow, you know, didn't know that. You know,
and there's still things they say are going to bring out that we're going to go, we had no idea that existed.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't even know the right order for the Scandalous Sex Suite. So
we don't. There's going to be loads of videos in the vault, like you know, that video he did, the sort of, what's it called, hard, the day in the life of a bum or something, or the hard bum.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
that's so weird.
It was such a weird skit they did for, like, you know. And I think there's going to be lots of things in the vault, little kind of mucking about videos, little kind of comedy things, because Prince liked to just go for it and shoot, and you know. No, I think
Kirsty Tucker, I want the 3121 movie.
See, that was promoted, wasn't it? And they interviewed people. Do you remember they interviewed? I think there's a guy. I think he was a cameraman, and he said, "I don't know what we're making today. Whether it's a music video, whether it's a documentary, I don't know. But I'm here, and we're going to make it, and we're filming lots." And and then it never happened, did it?
No.
You know how much is out there for that?
He did so many of those projects. I mean, it's like with the Rainbow Children, and he got what's his name? I always forget his name.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Kevin Smith, to come and film all that stuff,
yes.
You know, and document it all, and you know, and there's some brilliant bit. There's one where he's
Natalia, that's it, yes.
Where he's given a talk, Kevin Smith, about it, and he says during this thing they ran out of film, and it was so fun they didn't dare to tell Prince. They just pretended and they carried on because they were terrified. Yeah, it was just brilliant. I mean, but yeah, he got all that stuff, and then it was never released. Yeah. Outtakes from Exodus era. Oof, wow. Yeah.
So that was good. I mean, the way he talks about that, Kevin Smith, it's a lot of footage, isn't there?
A lot of it, yeah. And there was a thing about it because he didn't want to do it, but apparently, he just insisted because he said it's not his thing. That's not what he does. But he got his way. Prince got his way and got him to do it. But,
I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, obviously, there's that you know, the Life of the Party documentary where you see clips behind, like, musicology, and you think, you know, there's so much stuff out there probably that we don't even have a clue about. You know, I mean, Prince recorded everything. So, you know, it just makes you wonder what you know, what is in there. But yeah, I know. We'll all try our best to
absolutely. Well, again, 3121 movie, that's got to be on it. Well, again, we're talking SDEs again. You know, is it going to be? Could you release it with the album? You know, or would it again be one of those, like we said earlier, joined on with something else? Musicology, 3121 Musicology tour, the 3121 movies, one great big dual package.
Well, when they saw, you know, we saw he'd obviously worked on the One You Want to See video. That was such a catchy, that's got a real 60s color, kind of like oranges and bright colors vibe. It was just fantastic. It was such a great, catchy song. And, you know, he obviously made the video, he thought something of it, and then, you know, but no, I think we'll all have to do it. We'll all have to just ensure that, you know, nobody forgets Prince. And,
God, absolutely. Susan and Peggy Mack, they know a lot. Absolutely. Captain Rhodes, it's Princey time.
It's always Princey time.
Always Princey time. Camden Palace after show 88. Documentary team was there filming. Snippets they used seemed like a multi-camera shoot.
See, that's the other thing. You see these documentaries and you see little clips and you see little, like Simon points out, little multi-camera shoots. You think there's obviously a lot more footage out there, because they've edited it down just for clips for the documentary. So they've obviously filmed those. I mean, you think of the omnibus, you think of the ladder, and
it's brilliant.
Obviously there's a bit where Mika Paris is there, and I just in my imagination. I just think there's so much stuff out there that, you know, it's better. I know some of it might not be vastly popular, but you know what? It's better out there than not out there. If we're concerned with Prince's work, it's better to see, even if you can't, you know, even if you're the state and you say, well, look, this isn't going to have a huge commercial thing, put it on YouTube. You make a bit of money, you get Prince's work out there, and people go, somebody might watch that and go, oh, I love that. Is there some more? Can I buy something? Yeah,
exactly. And that's the way. Exactly. That will be coming at some point, Nightchild. I haven't forgotten. What was that?
I'm thrown now. I was talking about so many random things.
I know. Yeah.
Oh yes. That's that. No, and I remember now. No, that's,
you made a request, did you?
we will see that. But I'd say keep an eye on Purple Music Prince piano covers. Seriously, the melodies.
Oh yeah.
He does. It's just amazing. It just kind of it brings out something new in every song, and I listen to him, and it just
the one you want to see.
How much Prince, it had a great ear for that. Just amazing. The one you want to see is probably one of my favorite.
I know. Yeah.
I think it should have been a huge hit. I think Hugs and Kisses and One You Want to See should have been big hits, really big. I think the One You Want to See, I think, is catchy as anything. I think that would have been a big hit for him, and he obviously thought about it, did the video, and I just don't know why. I know Prince changes his mind every 5 seconds, but I just wish he just pushed that, because I think that could have been a huge. And do you know what? That kind of time, he was very much in the public eye. Why not just go for that? And it's a great kind of baby, I'm a star like boast, isn't it? I'm the one you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Great track. I want after shows released, don't we all? Yes. So,
well, that's the thing.
You never know how many of them were filmed. That's the thing, or what So
even when they're recorded, Prince would often chop them up, wouldn't he, from different dates and put them all together. And I think
I think it's probably fair to say a lot of them you've got soundboard recordings probably. So for most after shows, but whether there's actual video footage of any after.
How many artists would do that? How many artists would do? They rehearse, they do the full show, then they do an after show, and you're right, that's overlooked, isn't it? I mean, how many after shows are out there, really? I mean, in absolute. I mean, obviously did that a bit with the One Night Alone, but yeah, I just Danny Tickler's in the house.
Danny Tickler's. What a shame! And we have spent the last hour and 40 minutes talking about the Undertaker. That's the only thing we've spoken about. And now we're about to go. Oh, what a shame!
But for Danny, we will pray that the Undertaker is released. He loves it.
Yeah. Oh dear, I don't know. Dear. Virtually all together. As last week, we were having a few jars with some of these fine chaps in this comment section.
No, it's been really good. It's been really good to actually just get out there and talk to everyone.
Exactly, and get back on, and it's I'd say it's getting harder these days to get stuff up all the time and be as regular as we used to be, but we're trying.
And you guys are always awesome, so
absolutely. We got videos in the works. We're not going away. So we shall see. So anything else? We covered everything, I think.
I think so for the moment.
It's been quite a lot just for 4 months. That's amazing, isn't it? So obviously, we're in April now. Is Celebration happening this year? It is.
I haven't heard.
I don't know if it is or not.
No, I think I know there's a few people going to Paisley, but I think they haven't announced anything yet. But I mean, surely at this point, I don't know if it's too late. I don't know at this point where if it's going to be. But I just I say, Paisley Park, as we said earlier, I just hope it's okay. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's that's one of the things. I don't know. It's such a sort of. I know Paisley Park is in your heart, but it's also a place, and
it is.
I just
it's very important that it's preserved.
I think absolutely.
You would not want to see that go, but So J3121's just joined. Hey, we got some late stragglers tonight. We've all been down the pub or something. God, like you've got better things to do. I can't believe that.
Prince full B-sides collection should be done. Captain Rhodes, absolutely. I think, like I say, we said that it's not from the 1993 onwards. He's still producing great outtakes, wasn't he? I mean, he was producing non-album tracks right to the very end of it. I mean, you think of sort of Free Yourself, that kind of
absolutely
Rough Enough. There was so much stuff. And I think there's so much unexplored stuff,
especially the Third Eye Girl era as well. There was a lot of stuff in it that he did.
Well, that was interesting, because I think when a lot of that stuff wasn't leaking out, so I wonder how much stuff there is, because there was a time when it was all leaking out, and it wasn't leaking out then, and I think and who knows what he was working. I mean, like I say, we didn't know he was working on Artificial Age until bang.
No, I know. And he comes out with that. I mean, wow. What an album that is. I mean, well, that's a different video. We're going to talk about that. I mean, wow, yeah. Rock and Roll Alive was a good B-side. Yes.
Oh, that was. I love the video for that.
Yeah, his ski jacket on.
Yeah, I love that. It's like there's like the Bill Clinton lookalike. There's the you know.
Oh God, that was his thing to Lenny Kravitz, wasn't it? His little
yes, because he said Rock and
Lenny
Roll
Kravitz.
instead, and Rock and Roll's Alive. It lives in Minneapolis. I think
yeah,
that's such a funky. Only Prince can make that look funky.
Oh, it's a classic video. A classic video.
It really is.
There is a trove of stuff. I am positive.
I think that's a good note to leave it on. That is a trove of stuff, and we're positive. I think
we are positive. That's
we know what there is.
So I think what we do is we'll reconvene in another. Yeah.
Sorry, I get another love video. I love that.
There's we'll reconvene in another few months to see how things are going. I think we'll do another one of these live streams, maybe another, and then the summer maybe we'll give it another couple of months, 2-3 months, come back and see where we're at then.
I hope you all don't mind. We just like to pop on here and just chat, Prince.
Yeah, it's just great.
We don't plan anything. We just chat, Prince.
We don't.
Like at the pub, you know. It's just. It
is. We're literally just. There's no script. We say, oh, you know, let's just.
To be fair, everybody can tell there's no script.
Oh.
They're going. Of course, there's no script.
Of course, there's no script. What are you talking about? Yeah.
You have a good. Yeah, you have a good. You all take care of each other in these.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Keep watching. We've got our next review coming up soon. Love for one another, everybody. Yeah, and the Times Ice Cream Castles when he's got his finger out and finished making it.
Oh, we miss you, BB. We miss you all. We love you.
We miss you all. Yeah, we try and be, as I say, be on a bit more. So.
And Tony Delta Blue said, "I'd love to have a jar with you." I think we're gonna at some point we're gonna bump into Tony Delta Blues.
We are.
We were talking about this the other day. You know when concerts start up and I don't know the Revolution or the NPG or something, some Prince party or something. We're gonna.
Got to have something. Yeah, we'll wait for Volkretter to arrange the convention.
The first round's on us, Tony.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Right. Take care, everyone. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you all soon. Time to end this broadcast and straddle my breath.